Nate, I know you didn't get the result that you would have liked to walk out with tonight, but just put on a heck of a show for the fans. I know you could feel the love from start to finish, especially at the finish and the way you ended it. So how are you feeling right now about the fight?
I wish I went on the fight, but when I went, I feel like I got a cut in training. I do good too. I don't be cutting like everybody be saying all the time. Shit happens in the fights, but I'm ready for that. I got cut in training. That's why we had to push the fight back for a month. And I kind of lost all motivation to train and work out hard and all that. So I kind of just lingered around for a month, getting ready for war like that. And in the end of the day, I feel like, you know what I'm saying? He won or whatever, but I feel like I'm the better fighter still, regardless. And I feel like the peak of the fight is what matters in the fight anyway. What happened, and then no hate on Leon. Congratulations to him. And why would you fight anybody but the top guy if you're gonna fight at all? So yeah, I wish it would have went my way, but it's all good.
Yeah, I know you had a lot of respect for Leon, man. You gave him a lot of praise. You know, talk to him about having a GSP-like run while you were in there with him. Tell us where he ranks. I mean, his skills, anything you do surprise you? Do you feel like he's an elite level fighter? Because he's trying to chase after a championship right now.
Yeah, I know it's gonna be. I know it's that it's. He knows how to get through fights and win the fights, and you know, and this is the highest level of fighting, so that's cool.
Did anything he do surprise you? I mean, you had some surprise tactics in there, to say the least. Was that the game plan coming in to throw the little trickery at him with turning the back and, you know, kind of showboating him a little bit?
No, I just kind of winged it all. I was just kind of walking through that fight, trying to get to the next point in this whole game, and I didn't feel like I was ever really in any danger. Of course, I got cut, and that fucking sucks. But I was, like I said, I was unmotivated in training, and I was just trying to not use any energy anywhere. I was just cruise control.
Can you walk us through the last minute? I mean, obviously you're taking some damage up to that point, but to have that near come from behind victory, what was going through your head when you tagged him and you rocked him?
Fight was a wrap. In a real fight in the real world, that's a wrap. So yeah, he was sleepwalking.
Last thing for me, Nate, where do you go from here? I mean, you said you kind of lost motivation. I mean, does that mean that you're not sure about what's next? Or do you see some fights on the horizon?
I want to fight now 3 or 4 months. I'm ready to hop back in there just to heal up. If I was unscared, I'll be back next week. I was just unmotivated to train anymore because I already put in all the hard work for the last fight in Texas where it was supposed to be. And now I had to linger on for another fucking month. And it would just sucked. I was like, whatever though. So I like rolled with the punches. Did what I had to do to get here.
Nate, every time you fight, everyone links your name to Conor McGregor or Jorge Masvidal. In terms of what you want to do next, are those two the ones that make sense, or are there anyone else in the 170-pound division you'd like to try?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Is there anyone you would specifically like to fight next?
I don't have nobody in mind. I'm gonna go back home and look at what's popping or what and who's doing what, and whoever wants to fight, let it be known. And if it makes sense, then it's a good idea for both parties. Let's dance.
And did you invite all the fans to a party at your house tonight?
Yeah, we finna have a house party tonight. So pull up if you guys want. I'm gonna put I'm gonna put some info on my social media on my Instagram. If anybody wants to come out, there's been a lot of support this week, and we have a big place. And why not go out with a bang bang?
Is that BYOB or?
For sure, BYOB anyway. But we'll try to get something together too. I don't know. I gotta talk to the guys working out the plans. They just you out of my hair. Let's do this. All right, what else you gonna do?
Nate, to your left over here. You know, everyone thinks of you as a striker, and you have great jiu-jitsu as well. Would you ever be interested in facing somebody like Damian Maia, for example?
I have a lot of respect for guys like that, Damian Maia, Jacare, and the whole jiu-jitsu, Kron Gracie. Anybody who comes in with that big of a with that big of a credential, already did a whole career, and you know, I'm not hunting or looking for those types of fights, but I feel like I'm pretty much on the same side as them. You know, I feel like I'm representing the same thing, jiu-jitsu background, and I want to say I would like to fight Damian Maya. I think he's great.
And having fought Leon now, do you think that he's good enough to be a champion potentially?
Yeah, I don't know who he find for the championship.
Kamaru Usman's champ right now.
Yeah, then he lost to Kamaru last time. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see that fight rematch. I don't know if it'll go any different or if it will, but I think I take all these guys out.
Thanks, Nate.
Nate, to your left. With the rumors of your brother coming back, how happy are you to have the Nate Diaz Army and the Nick Diaz Army fighting this year?
Yeah, it's good that the world's moving again. And shit's getting back to normal. So if my brother's around me, that's the best thing that could happen. That's the greatest fighter of all time, as far as I'm concerned. So whenever he's gonna make that move, and whenever they want to make that move and make something big with him, then there's nothing better you can see in martial arts. And then I'm gonna ride the momentum with him and fight next, and then do the same way we've always done it with the whole team, Cesar Gracie fight team. So if that's gonna happen, I think that's the best news for MMA.
Thank you.
Nate, how you doing? Indica, sativa, or hybrid?
What's that?
Indica, sativa, or hybrid?
That was some indica.
Okay.
But, I like everything. I like a little everything.
Is Leon Edwards your opponent? Is he worthy of next in line of the title shot, or do you think it should go to somebody else?
Yeah, I've had winners fight for the title. 5-round fights. The fuck was that for?
And lastly, when your eye opened up, was there any flashbacks, any concern like the New York State Athletic Commission that this athletic commission could potentially stop this fight?
I wouldn't have got cut, but because I ain't getting cut. Watch. I was putting a defense on all cause he can land the elbow. I could feel him thirsty for it. And then we're on the ground, and I was like, I'm about to bust this motherfucker right now. So I cut back with elbow, and then I got, hey, I don't know what I was doing. So Karma kicked me for that. But
Nate over here.
hey, just for the boxers out there too, like fucking, it's way easier to box without somebody throwing kicks at you.
Nate, how cool was it to get that California love here in Arizona as if you were in your backyard?
It's great, and there's love everywhere. Like we're in New York the last time, and you could just feel it coming off everybody. You know, everywhere I go, there's a lot of love and support. My brothers started before me, so when I came in, there was already momentum way for the Diaz name when I got started, and it's just building and building and building. So it's great, and I got love everywhere I go, and I appreciate it.
And you talked about boxing. I've talked to Andre Ward. He told me you and your brother could legitimately whoop some ass in the boxing ring. Would y'all fight one of the Pauls or one of these YouTubers? Because your name don't come up. But if your name come up, would you get that? Would you take that?
Hey, everything's those are all options, and it's great to hear Andre Ward talk about. That's the greatest, one of the greatest boxers, greatest of all time in boxing, I believe. He pound for pound. That guy's the man. So that's cool that I'm getting recognition from him at all.
And final question for me: how cool is it to be the People's Champ? Everybody on Twitter, social media is calling Nate Diaz the People's Champ.
It's love, and it's love right back at him. I appreciate it.
Hey, Nate, down to your right, real quick. I'm not sure if you watched Brandon Moreno. He became the first Mexican-born champion in UFC history. Did you watch that fight, and your thoughts on that win for Brandon?
I was watching it at an angle. I had people in front of me and stuff. But it was, I'm proud of the little dude. That guy's, their last fight was like one of the best fights I've ever seen at that weight. So, congratulations to him. And, this was an awesome card too, with all the different, cause that last fight was badass. That's the rematch with Figueiredo. That's the name. Yeah, that was a good fight. So congrats to Moreno. Hey, thanks everybody for having me and the questions. And I saw everybody's articles, Mark. I saw your article. I appreciate the love always. See you guys.
No, pues por eso te puse bien cerquita, ¿verdad? Dijiste, ahí viene Nate Díaz. Te lo cuido, te lo cuido.
Fala pessoal, vou traduzir rapidinho aqui. O Nate falou que estava fumando indica não sativa. Disse que cometeu um erro ali ao dar uma cotovelada, sofreu um golpe, cortou o olho, o supercílio. Parabenizou o Brandon Moreno por se tornar o primeiro mexicano campeão do UFC. O Brandon que finalizou o Davidson Figueiredo, que daqui a pouco deve estar aqui. A gente falou pouco, né? Falou bem pouco. Disse que, enfim, já fez o anúncio aí de uma festa pós-luta, né? Que ele vai fazer hoje. E é isso, em breve a gente vai ter o Brandon Moreno, o Israel Adesanya, talvez o Marvin Vettori e talvez o Davidson Figueiredo. Então vamos esperar aí qual vai ser a programação do UFC. O evento acabou de acabar, estamos aqui direto de Phoenix, no Arizona.
Para abajo que para arriba, porque yo estaba abajo. Sí, pues porque estaba yo lo bueno. Sí, bueno, donde está el de la pantalla, si todo ahí, yo no sabía que me mandaste los medallas.
Congratulations on a very impressive victory. Dominant until the very end, but overall, just give us your thoughts on your performance this evening.
It was a decent performance, I thought I could have let my hand go a little bit more. The last round was I got complacent, and it paid the price. So no matter what, though, I was not going down. No matter what, I had the will to win, and I wasn't going to let Nate take that away from me,
Yeah, I guess you should always expect antics when he's in there, but I mean they were on a different level tonight. Were you expecting him to fight the way he did, or did that throw you off a little bit?
No, I think Nate's Nate. That's what I like about him. He is who he is. He won't change for nobody, and especially like talking shit and like even though I was hitting him, I was like, it was a good shot. So I was like, what you doing? You ain't doing nothing. I was like, bro, I'm not beating you up here, But it is what it is. A good fight. I enjoyed it. It's been a long 2 years, and I was happy to come back and compete against a guy like Nate.
Yeah, he's made a career of being durable, like you said. But I mean, when you're actually in there hitting him with your best shots, he's not going away. Is that a little bit unnerving?
Not unnerving, but it's like when somebody hitting someone hard, he's like, "Come on, man, what you doing?" I was like, "Bro, I'm like smoking your hair. You need to do something, But like I said, I respect him, especially after the fight. Knowing how much he can take and keep going forward and keep talking shit. So.
I got to ask him the foot sweeps where you swept him down twice. I mean, was that like sending a message there? Or what was that about?
It's a technique we were working with Thai coach Henry, we were working holding camp. I was landing it in sparring every time, So I thought, I'll go for it again and landed it twice. So it's a beautiful technique that I'll keep using.
Like I said, pretty dominant except for that final minute. Can you walk us through the final minute? I mean, how rocked were you? And were you just thinking, let me hang on because I know I'm up 4 rounds?
I was rocked, I went right to go down to like go to my knees and get ground and pounded out. but I felt that I didn't know what hit me with until after the fight, you know. But it was a clean shot. Like I said, I got complacent. I thought it's only like a minute and a half left. Let's just like go with the flow of the fight, and I paid the price, and that is a lesson, you know. Like I said, I'm still learning. I'm 29 years old, and I'm still growing.
And last thing for me, you said to Joe Rogan, hey, I'm looking forward to my title shot. You said it a couple times to him. I mean, do you feel like that was enough that you should be next, or do you feel like, you know, you'll sit back and wait if there happens to be another title fight in front of you? I mean, what do you think?
What do you think? I feel I should be next to the title shot. Like that's nine in a row, 10 in a row. Like there's no one else that's doing what I'm doing. You know, I've offered to fight everybody, Hamzat, Diaz, Bilal. These guys never were like in the top 10. You know, and I'm one that's saying yes. Everyone else is like bitching and sitting out and complaining. I'm one that's showing up, fighting and finding these tough guys. You know, so I feel I deserve next shot for sure.
Yeah, did you, when you saw that cut over Nate's eyebrow again, did any part of you think like, oh, the doctor might stop this again between rounds?
Nah. I said it going into the fight, and I don't want the doctor to step in and be like, oh, the fight's over, you know, because that's not really a good win for me. I like that's probably a better win than what I did than having the doctor come in and stop it and step in. I don't think that would have been satisfying.
What did you two say to each other after the fight inside the octagon?
I think I said to him, you're a fucking soldier, you're a soldier, you know. He's like, oh, come to my after party. I was like, bro, I'm not going to after party. But
he's having a BYOP for anyone who wants to go.
Yeah, he said I ain't going though, but yeah, I said you're a soldier, man. And that's how I respect him. I said it leading up to the fight, like I respect him because he don't change who he is. You know, he is who he is, no matter what the media say about him, no matter what fans say about him, and you have to respect that in a man, you know, and fair play to him.
Leon, were you surprised at the lack of output he had? You know, like there's a lot of times he was standing there, he was taunting, but he wasn't really throwing many strikes towards you for the first 3 rounds.
I think it was my distance. You know, he killed his output. If I control the distance, I'll control what lands and what don't land. You know, so I think that's all it was. He just couldn't find me with his range, and I think that's what he's like. Started getting frustrated and started like talking shit to me in there. You know, to try to get me into a fight with him. But like I said, I've been off for a long time, and I've learned my discipline. I've grown as a martial artist and physically and mentally, you know, and I got a great team behind me, and they give me the right advice. You know.
Is there any point in the fight when he's doing that sort of stuff, throwing his arms in the air, talking, that you're just like, oh, this is a native Diaz experience? I was expecting.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Because I remember watching him as a kid, you know, like when I'm in my pro debut, he was already headlining cards in the UFC, you know, so I know exactly what he does. Like I said, everyone got a pattern, and it was like a weird thing to see. Like he was like talking shit to me. What you doing? I'm like, bro, like what the hell? Well, it was a good fight. I enjoyed it, you know.
Does that maybe make it easier to take, knowing that you're ahead and he's still talking? You're like, oh, okay, this is...
Yeah, it was just like I said, I got a great team, and they kept me composed. And even when I went to touch gloves with him, he's like fuck you too, then you don't want to touch gloves, you know. But yeah, like I said, I got a great team behind me. They give me the right advice that I need to keep me calm in the fight and just do my thing. Done.
Leon, I don't know if you've seen Brett Okamoto just put a tweet out actually about Kamaru's reaction to your fight. He said that don't help you. I guess no one deserves it. Your reaction to that thought by Usman. He said that don't help you. No one deserves it. Your reaction to that response by Kamaru.
I think all these guys making excuses. You know, they know I'm the real deal. They know I'm the man for the title shot. You know, they're all bitching, making excuses and say, he doesn't deserve it. Then who fucking does? Kobe don't deserve it. He fucking Woodley got injured, and then now he's deserving a title shot. I'm one that I didn't bitch, I didn't moan. I took my loss on the chin. I worked my way back up to a 9-5 win streak. Who else fucking deserves it? You know.
Thank you,
Leon. Sheila, I just want to know, like, do you feel relieved that you finally fought? You fought, you know?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Nah, like I said, it's been a long year and a half, 2 years, a lot of ups and downs, and I've been in camp since last March. You know, when I was meant to fight Woodley. I've been in like back-to-back training camps, and a lot of ups and downs, lost friends, lost people, and it's been a stressful road, you know. So I'm happy now to have come back. Even the last minute I got rocked for, fuck, you know, like, how bad is my luck? I was like, Jesus. how bad is my luck? But like I said, I'll believe in God's plan and just keep doing my thing, you know.
That might have made you the unluckiest fighter, but it didn't happen. So
now, like I said, my will to win is strong. You know, I know what I've come from, I know what I've been through, and I was not going out because of a shot. You know, is what it is. It caught me a nice shot. I got lazy, paid the price, and that's it.
Congrats.
Leon, over here. You know, you kind of turned into the bad guy a little bit, sort of with the Masvidal situation. Here, that was amplified a whole lot just because of Nate Diaz being Nate Diaz. You kind of like that role, though.
Yeah, for sure. I embrace it. You know, it doesn't bother me. I grew up around hostility. I grew up around bad environments. You know, so if I have a crowd booing me, I'm going out to get paid fucking money. It's like, is it is? I go out there, do my job. It doesn't affect me. I've been booed in the UK. When I fought Chill, I was like, what the fuck? So it is what it is, you know. I embrace it. Like I said, I'm on my journey, and I'll keep doing my thing, you know.
And ideally, how quickly do you think you want to get back in there?
So yeah.
Ideally, how quickly do you think you want to fight?
Later this year probably. I'll probably have some rough to take my son away. Like I said, I've been in camp now for almost 2 years, you know. Back-to-back camps, a lot of disappointments, a lot of pullouts, a lot of ups and downs. So I'll have the summer off, show my family then later on this year, you know.
All right, thanks, Leon. Congrats.
The Euros have started. Back here to your left. The Euros started. How do you think you'll fare in the Euros?
I ain't got a clue about football. I don't watch football.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
Sorry, I don't watch football. All my friends
It's all
watch it.
good.
Not really a football kind of guy.
One quick. You and Jimmy Mano are working towards. I was speaking out against knife violence in England, right?
And Darren Till.
How's that been going?
And Darren Till. It's a great project that close to all of our hearts. You know, knife crime is a big thing in the UK, and like I said, I've lost friends to knife violence from doing the act and from being stabbed. You know, so it's a charity that we've put together with the UFC, partnering up with the UFC, and it's going to save many kids' life. You know, to be able to do that. So it's like I said, it's close to my heart. I can't wait for it to kick off. It kicks off in a few weeks. Once the UK is back open, I think they're saying June the 21st, 26th. So once I'm back home and be able to get stuck into it and start saving these kids and helping these kids, I can't wait, you know. Thank you.
You never know.
Then you're good. You're just chilling. You're like, ah, that's good.
Yeah, you know.
Con la cámara acá.
Obviously have some like that. About to-
Pero eso se subiste en la pared.
What's up, guys? The gate was 4.28 million, the arena record. The attendance was 17,208. The fight of the night was Dober and Rydell, and performance of the night was Moreno and Craig. They all won $50,000. If you can believe this one, because I can't fucking believe it, Jamal Hill's arm was not broken. It was dislocated. They popped it back in, and he has full range of motion, and the guy's okay. That's nuts.
That's crazy. Are you going to cut Terrence McKinney a check? 7 seconds in debut. I thought that was
Yeah. We will, yeah. You know, when you go back there and you got to look at this shit and pick, you know, we picked Paul because, you know, Jamal's 8-0. You know, hard to pick. But yes, we'll take care of that kid.
Nice. I guess to start just with the Jamal Hill Paul Craig thing, I'm not to set you up to bang on the commission or anything, but did that frustrate you a little bit?
If you don't know a guy's arm is broken
or not broken,
yeah. Look, bro, when an arm is flopping around like this and going both ways, you should probably stop the fight.
Can you file anything with the commission or say anything?
No, listen. Arizona has been very, very good to us. I don't want to shit on Arizona after they've been so good to us, but that's a rough one. Yeah, the guys. I heard.
He's
He's
a local ref. He does that a lot.
He's a local ref. I heard this guy's a jiu-jitsu black belt. Is that true?
Yeah,
sure is.
He's what?
If you go to a local fight and he's refing, you know something's gonna happen.
Oh, really? Oh, he's the Arizona Mazzagatti?
100%.
Okay. It makes sense then.
On to the better things. Israel Adesanya, I mean, seemed like a return to vintage form. Looked fantastic. What do you think about his performance this evening?
Who?
Israel Adesanya.
Yeah. No, Israel. Listen, Vittori is a tank, man. This guy is so tough, durable. The amount of leg kicks he took tonight and never buckled, never limped, never, he's tough as nails, and he was in there with a much better athlete tonight. And when you look at Adesanya's, think about Adesanya was a kickboxer. You look at his takedown defense now. When he's on the fence, when he's in the middle of the octagon, when he gets taken down, how he's able to spring right back up, and it's almost like he gets better every time. Obviously, when you come in and you have the energy, and now most of you have been with me in Jacksonville, Houston, and Arizona, right? Arizona wins. I mean, Arizona, the first two were nuts, but this was like next level. And people were just like begging for anything to happen just to go crazy. And, you want that in your main event, but it was a tough fight.
Yeah. He called for Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker called for him. Clearly the fight to make right now.
That's the other thing I love about Adesanya. Adesanya, before this fight happened, maybe it was 2 or 3 days ago, we got the word that I want to fight again in October. It's like as soon as he hadn't even fought yet, and this kid's already talking about his next fight. I love that. Adesanya has become a very badass champion for us, you know. So yeah, we'll figure out him and Whitaker ASAP.
Do you have any idea if October's possible to fight down there? Or?
I don't know. We got a lot of probably. You talking about New Zealand or Australia? I would highly doubt it. That's like asking if we can go to Canada in October. I mean, they're pretty much in the same boat.
Brandon Moreno, give your thoughts on his performance. Obviously, an impressive win for him tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. So going into this fight, I didn't see how Moreno wins this fight. Figueiredo is a savage, and I thought the first fight was going to be. The second fight was going to be much different than the first, right? And I was right, but I was wrong. Good for him. Incredible performance tonight. Looked like Figueiredo looked like he couldn't get off. He looked like he was slow. Moreno made it look easy, man. Yeah. And he's the first ever Mexican-born champion for the UFC. So good for him.
Would you try to fight? I don't know the situation in Mexico. Could you try to go to Mexico anytime soon with him, or is it?
I don't know. Sitting right here, right now, I have no idea, and we'll see. We'll see how this stuff plays out the rest of the year.
Nice last couple ones. Leon, obviously a great performance by him. Almost stolen away from him by Nate at the very end there. But what did you think of Leon Edwards' performance?
I thought, for first of all, you've been hearing me saying leading up to this fight, Leon Edwards, the kid with the worst luck ever in UFC history, goes in tonight in a 5-round fight and against a tough, durable Nate Diaz, who's always dangerous. And tonight was a great learning experience for him. And, he looked incredible the entire fight, even when he got hurt. Kept his composure. And, I think it was a little bit of he got stung and he was tired. When you think about it, that kid hasn't fought in, a year and a half, probably 2. So, great performance.
So is Leon Edwards or Colby Covington the number 1 contender right now?
Colby.
Colby's still number 1. Okay. Last thing for me, Damian Maia came into tonight, said maybe it'd be his last fight. He'd see how it goes. He'd talk to you, maybe one more. Obviously, he's a legend, so I'm not trying to shut the door on him. But after seeing tonight, do you think that was his last fight, or would you like to see one more?
I do. I think that was his last fight. It was the last fight in his deal. He's 44 years old. He's been so good at getting in there, securing the takedown, getting on top of people and just strangling them, or grabbing something and twisting it until you quit. And he couldn't get it done tonight. And he's 44 years old. He's a great guy. He's had a great career. And yes, I would say that's probably it.
Dana, do you think Israel's starting to reach like that Anderson level where he's making opponents freeze in there? It looks like, Paulo Costa, Vittori, they sort of, after a while, don't know what to do with him as he sort of starts to chop away at them.
What's the question?
Is Israel starting to become like Anderson, where his aura is almost psyching his opponents out when they get in there?
We were talking tonight, his feint game is off the charts, and, he looks better every time he fights. And then the thing that this guy's been an outstanding kickboxer his whole life. But what I'm really impressed in is his wrestling. You got to imagine that Team Vittori worked a lot on getting him against the fence, taking him down, getting on top of him, roughing him up, and they literally couldn't do it tonight. So he got into a position where he couldn't take him down and he couldn't stand with him. Everywhere he went was a bad place for Vittori tonight.
It's been said before that flyweights are sometimes harder to market, but do you think Moreno can be a star for you guys in Mexico?
I think he is already. Winning the title tonight and being the first ever. Yeah, I think that's it. I think we're on our way with that kid. Now he's in a place where he's got to win. This kid starts rattling off title defenses, and holy shit, yeah, I bet we got a big one.
Do you think anything Figueiredo's performance tonight is in that weight cut continues to be harder for him? He weighed in with 1 minute left. Do you think that's an issue for him still?
Has to be. The guy's an absolute savage, and he hasn't been in his last 2 fights.
Lauren Murphy, she won again tonight. Again, she came back here.
Again, I don't want to take anything away from Moreno either. Moreno looked great. But
is Lauren Murphy next for Valentina?
Is there a what?
Lauren Murphy, is she next for a title shot?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay. What do you think you do with Nate now? Because while he lost every round until the final one, he still was able to nearly put a title contender away late on in the fight. Where do you think he stands in the division What do you see Nate? What's next for Nate?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Is he just a guy you slot into fun fights at this point?
He's a fan favorite. People love him, win, lose, or draw. And I don't know. We'll see what's next.
Is it a little bit unbelievable he can still take the punishment?
Yeah. I mean, the punishment his leg was done in the first round. He went 5 rounds and took a lot more leg kicks, bleeding out both sides of his head. One was squirting this way, one was squirting this way. And he was still, doing what the Diaz brothers do. He was working the whole fight to get into, his head and try to make him make a mistake. And then he eventually caught him in the 5th round. He's unbelievable. He's going to be asking us for a 6-round fight next time.
Hey, over here. What's up, buddy?
Man, what's up, buddy?
Since Leon's not the number 1 contender, do you put him with Jorge so we can find out who's the real 3 piece of the soda on the side?
But who with Jorge?
Leon.
Who? Leon?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's always a fight we can make. I mean, that fight's always going to be hanging out there. I think Leon tonight, Leon's the number 3 ranked guy in the world. So we'll see what's next for him. I'm not sure if it's Masvidal, but, Colby Covington is the next guy in line for the title. So see what happens.
I know Brandon's got the belt. Who would be next for him? You thought about that? It's way too early for that.
Who'd be next for who?
Brandon Moreno. Who would be his first title defense?
Guys, you guys know I don't make fights tonight. I don't know.
You talked about how Izzy's improved as a wrestler. There's a trip you out there. He's kind of getting like my guy up front said, basically making him like Anderson, but kind of like John. He turned into a sparring session on a pay-per-view.
Who? Adesanya?
Yeah.
Yeah. Adesanya looks unbelievable, man. He gets better every time he goes in there. And he is definitely, without a doubt, the king of that division right now.
And since I haven't talked to you in a couple of weeks, I got to ask you. I never nobody asked you this week. Did you watch Floyd and them and all that craziness last week?
Did I talk to Floyd?
No, did you watch? Did you watch Floyd?
No. I talked to Floyd, but I didn't watch Floyd. Yeah.
But what do you think about the million buys? Because the Paul brothers had your name in their mouth last week. I was down there in Miami. They said that tell your man Dana that they don't do these type of numbers. I'm just a messenger.
Who said tell your man Dana this?
Jake them after the fight.
Jake?
Yeah.
Jake. The other brother?
Yeah.
He didn't do $1 million. His brother did $1 million. Him and Floyd did $1 million. So last time we had a press conference, I told you all the Triller stuff is a bunch of bullshit.
I said no, but
they're lying. The numbers onto those guys really did that number. That's a real number. They did that. Jake didn't do that. Logan and Floyd did. And good for them. That's a real number. They really did that, and good for them.
And keeping it with the Paul brothers, Jake's fighting Tyron, as you know, and Tyron's telling people this is his biggest payday ever. The best thing for him was getting cut by the UFC because he's about to make his biggest payday ever to fight a YouTuber.
I've been hearing that bullshit forever. I've been hearing that. They're all full of shit. How much? What's he making? Exactly. If that's that much money and he's so fucking proud of how much it is, how much is it? But they're all full of shit. But that's how you hype up a fight too. You know what I mean? I keep not wanting to do this, and Tyron Woodley's 40 years old. Okay, he hasn't won a fight in 3 years, in something that he's actually supposed to be good at. And now he's going to go box. How do you sell that fight? Lots of other things other than the shit that should matter. I'm making millions of dollars, and this is the biggest payday ever. And Jake Paul will say mean things about me, and pay your fighters, and fucking, and you guys just fucking get right into it and love it. It's all bullshit. All a bunch of bullshit.
And final question for me, you said Lauren's not the number 1 contender, so who would be? Because Valentina's basically cleaned out the division, and she's one person she has not fought in the top 5.
Who?
Lauren Murphy.
Yeah.
Well, you said she wouldn't get the shot for Valentina. So you didn't decide that. Who else would Valentina fight? She's fought everybody else in the top 5.
Probably. I just don't want to say yes tonight because Tuesday will be a matchmaking meeting, and we'll start looking at what's next for everybody.
Dana,
And you know Valentina will fight fucking tomorrow if we called her tonight. She'd show up and fight. So I would imagine that would happen. Just not committing to it. Yeah.
what'd you talk with Floyd about?
About that fight, just the success of the fight, and I didn't get that number from Floyd. I got that number from real people. It's real. They really did it. You know me. I'll fucking tell you the truth. The fight before that didn't do jack shit. Well, I shouldn't say that. It did a good number for people that really fought. You know what I mean? But this one did a real number.
Was there any during the Nate Leon fight? Was there any part of you that was afraid that they would stop the fight again for the cuts on Nate's forehead?
Did I think they were going to stop?
Was there any part of you that thought they might have to stop the fight?
No.
Francis Ngannou and Nick Diaz were in the building for this. Were there any updates on their next fights?
No. Thanks. Anybody else?
Dana, with the world opening back up, how important is it for you to have dependable stars like Izzy and Marina that can like sell fights and be dependable? Yeah, with the world opening up and people wanting to go to live events, how important is it to have marketable stars like Israel and Marina to fight?
Yeah, I mean, that's always important. Even if we're still in the bubble, it's important to have guys that are stars. But as when you think about a week ago, which we haven't done in a while, but we could go like right to Mexico City with a fight, and just a lot more options when you have guys from these certain parts of the world that I think have that type of drawing power.
Hey, Dana.
Yep.
Just want to get your thoughts on Movsar Evloev, 15-0, 5-0 now in the UFC. He's quietly taking names. Where do you want to see him next? He's adamant on a top 10 opponent.
Who did you say?
Movsar.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, Tuesday, Schmo. We'll take a look at that stuff on Tuesday.
Francis Ngannou recently told TMZ he still wants that John Jones fight. Is the door still open for us to see a John Jones fighting Francis Ngannou next, or are you adamant that Derek Lewis is next in line?
Derek Lewis is getting that fight, yeah. It's Derek Lewis's fight. And then, John Jones, hopefully by then we'll be ready for the winner.
Hey, Dana, down to your right over here, Dana. To your right. This right.
Okay.
Gotcha. Brandon Moreno, were you surprised about the reaction that Moreno got this week in Phoenix? I mean, he got a similar reaction to like an Adesanya or a Diaz, who are much bigger stars, one would think, but he was extremely popular here in Phoenix.
No, he's Mexican. We're deep in Arizona. Doesn't surprise me at all. You want to know what surprises me? I'll tell you what surprises me. Any of you know anything about fighting over the last 20, 30 years, if it's very important what location you picked for your fight. What's his name was here tonight? The legend. Michael Carbajal. Thank you, sir. Fucking legend. So Michael Carbajal's a great example. If I had Michael Carbajal back in the day, I'd have to fight Michael Carbajal here in Las Vegas. Maybe Atlantic City, I could get away with it too, right? That's it. Very few other places you could go fight and pull a big gate and do. I came to Arizona with an African who grew up in New Zealand and an Italian. They were the main event. Okay? And look at we shattered the gate record here, right? So no, I'm not surprised at all that people here love Moreno. I'm actually surprised that they love Adesanya and Tori, to be honest with you.
Do you think that Moreno could be a guy that could headline events on his own in certain cities in the United States, not even just Mexico, but also some cities in the United States?
Do I think Moreno could?
Moreno could be a headline in some cities.
I was just saying I could go to Mexico City.
I'm saying in the United States, even like a Phoenix or something.
Oh yeah. You just got you pick the right markets, and plus, I mean, you know how our fans are, man. After the two fights that this kid's just had and winning tonight, I had an African who grew up in New Zealand tonight and an Italian. I could probably do this kid in the middle of Idaho or Iowa, and people would want to see him fight again. It's not like that anymore. It's not the way that it was with our business, like it is in boxing.
And about Mexico City, they're not not full capacity yet. Still limited capacity for there.
So you know what that means. I won't be there.
Gotta wait.
Thanks.
Yep, go ahead. I'll get you next, sir.
You mentioned the bubble, and then you also talked about how lit it was out there tonight. The energy was off the charts. You did the same in Houston and Florida. You seem to be leading the way with UFC to open up the whole country. Do you think much about that, the impact you're having outside of your business that you're running here?
Not really. Through this whole thing, when it started and when we started getting ready to go to full capacity places again, I'm just thinking about my own little world, man. The people that I have to take care of and what I need to do, not everybody else.
That probably tells me the answer to the next question, too. But you've created an environment of free expression that isn't happening in other sports. People can say what they believe. We got everything you can imagine when we see these fights from people all over the world. You seem to be saving the First Amendment here in the United States. I mean, is it too much to say the UFC is leading the way on restoring the Constitution here in our own country?
It's what I love about the sport. You know what I mean? This is the fight game. We live in a world right now. Let me just put it this way. Everybody's very sensitive these days about everything. This is a sport where we say mean things to each other sometimes, and then we go in and we beat the shit out of each other to see who's going to win. So through all the craziness that's happened over the last year and a half and the last 20 years, my position has always been, this is America, and we have people in this sport from all over the world. You can say and believe whatever you want. It's up to you. We had everything from Colby Covington, coming in with Junior's book and, doing all this stuff, to Woodley coming into the press conference and saying nothing but Black Lives Matter. These are all grown men that can make their own decisions, and grown women that can make their own decisions, their own choices, whatever religion you are, whatever country you come from, whatever, that's the way it's supposed to be, I believe. And that's the way it will be until the day I leave.
You said earlier this week that it's looking like Nick Diaz is going to fight again this year. And with Nate saying that he wants to turn back around and fight in a couple months, is it possible that we get a double Diaz card?
I don't know. I don't know what Nate wants to do after this. What did he say he wants to fight? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Anything is possible.
And then with the 5 rounds with Leon and Nate, is it will we be seeing more of those if it's a really good fight in a co-main event and you want 5 rounds? Screw it.
I guarantee you, everybody in this room has watched a badass fight and said, God, I wish this was 5 rounds. There's been so many of these fights that I wish. We can't keep doing that. I mean, we just can't.
Cherry pick?
Huh?
Did you cherry pick the fight?
Not cherry pick. I mean, Diaz really wanted to do it. So we sat in that room that I talk about that will be in on Tuesday, and we decided that we would do it. I don't want to make a habit of it. Co-main, main event, if it's, championship, and all main events are five rounds. But yeah, we can make those decisions sometimes. I'm not saying we will, but we can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right here. We're minutes away from Risen's Big Tokyo Dome show going down, and you met up with Sakibara recently, and they featured your conversation a little bit in some preview packages, and he's been consistently interested in coming to America again. Just curious if you'd ever help or work with them a little bit to make that happen.
Is Saki Kabara you talking about? I like Saki Kabara. I always did. Even when we were really hardcore competitors, he was a fun guy to compete with. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying that I would, but I'm not saying that I wouldn't either. At the time when we competed, when Pride and UFC were both first coming up, it was just such a different time in the sport. And I don't know.
Fair enough. And I want to springboard off of something you said in a recent interview where you corrected us with corrected the comment that you made about the healthcare stuff. And Just curious if have you entertained it at least, anything like that?
Would I entertain what? Oh, yeah. What's the question? Would I consider it?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Listen, we're working on stuff like that all the time. We're working on, this brain stuff. We've been spending millions and millions of dollars on brain studies for years, and now all the psychedelic stuff is happening. So we're trying to figure out, a lot of guys are interested in that from what we think. We think a lot of guys are interested. So, we're looking into that. We're always looking into making things better, safer, and whatever for the fighters. I mean, I don't know about healthcare forever. I mean, does anybody have a job where they get healthcare forever when they leave? I mean, that's pretty fucking crazy, but let's all go work there. I don't think anybody does it.
And last thing for me, Dana, in regards to the welterweight title fight, looking at that rematch with Colby and Kamaru, are you thinking maybe by the time to do that, it would be like UFC 266, maybe where another 3 title fight card, essentially, just because of how things are lining up? Could we see another 3 title fight card this year?
I don't know. Yeah, all this stuff depends on timing. And we came out the gates quick with full capacity in arenas, and we just started booking these fights. And I don't know. I mean, I can't even tell you what's going to happen in 3 or 4 months with other states and other arenas. We're going to be back at Fight Island in the Apex when cold weather comes. I don't know the answers to any of these questions, but I'm ready for it. I'm ready for all of it now.
Thanks, Dana.
Thanks.
Hey, Dana.
Hey.
Former Mexican.
What's that?
Former Mexican.
Former?
Former Mexican. So
You say former?
Yeah, I just say that.
How the hell does that work?
American now.
You used to be, but now you're not?
He's an American. So making the point now is, seems to me that you had the right mix for formers and newcomers and Mexicans along the way. There's another places like Chicago who would love to see UFC. And there's then my generation, then my son, his generation, who follow UFC because daddy likes UFC.
Yep.
So maybe that's probably something that we would like to pursue.
I'm not sure what your question was, but I agree with you 100%. When I was a kid, all of my uncles were big boxing fans and used to watch the big fights at the house, and there was just this energy and a buzz in my house that wasn't there for anything else. Could be any other type of sport, and that's how I believe I fell in love with fighting. And yes, I meet people all the time. Lorenzo and I used to talk about this all the time, about these generations that would grow up with their parents with it on TV, and now with it on ESPN, and all the television deals that we have. This younger generation is being exposed to more UFC than ever before. And I agree with you. And what I think you asked me was, I know you said something about Chicago.
Yep.
Coming to Chicago?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I love coming to Chicago. As soon as Chicago opens up, is Chicago 100% yet?
I don't know. Is it?
In like 15 days.
15 days.
18 days?
1-5.
15 days? Well, that seems to be the story around the country. So if these places really open up, some are saying they are, but they're not. It's not what I'm looking for exactly yet. We will start going to all these cities, and I love the city of Chicago and the food. So yes.
Thank you. You got the question perfectly, and congratulations on this event. We Arizonans love it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Did you talk to Paulo Costa after his statement? How's your relationship
I
with
did
him
not.
right now?
Our relationship is fine. I mean, listen, he said some nutty shit, and I straightened it out. That's how I look at it.
Do you have any idea what's next for him?
Do I have any idea what?
What's next for him?
Sounds like nothing. Sounds like he's going to sit out and hang out for a while, and I don't know what. He said, I want to be paid more because of what all these YouTube stars are making. Apparently, he didn't see his last fight. Thank you.
I got one over here. Hey Dana, when you strip away all the lights and the cameras and the promotional bullshit that everybody goes through and they see, is Adesanya one of the most complete mixed martial artists you've ever seen?
Yeah, no, he's unbelievable. And like I said, as of late in his last few fights, his wrestling defense, his takedown defense, his ability to get up from the bottom. Tonight he was in that rear naked choke. That was damn close to going in, and he spins around and gets the top position and gets out of that. I mean, he looked as good as you could possibly look tonight without finishing.
That's it.
Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Dana, in Houston, you said that fight night gates aren't even figured into this year's budget. But with Vegas opening up, and is there any chance that after UFC 264, you could bring fight nights to like a casino or some other venue that would allow fan attendance? Is there any chance that you could bring fight nights to a casino or some other venue in Vegas that would allow fan attendance after UFC 264?
Oh, in Vegas?
Yeah.
I talked about this. We went through this at the office, and it just makes more sense for us right now to. I'm going to ride the rest of the year out at the Apex for fight nights. I mean, if everything opens, well, I don't know. The answer is yes. I'm looking at just doing the Apex. If things go the other way much faster than it seems like they're gonna, maybe I would travel some of the fight nights. But as of right now, I'm not planning on it. It's much easier to stay home and do what we're doing now. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I keep telling you guys, I look at the Apex like these people who are still sitting home wearing like a nice shirt and no pants and doing Zoom calls all day. That's what the Apex is like for us. We do need to get back out there and start going to these doing fight nights in different arenas, but I'm cool right now with doing them at the Apex for the rest of the year. There he is. There he is. You next? Let me get out of here and let him come in and have a great night. Thanks, everybody.
Brandon, congratulations. You said it. Wow, what a moment. I mean, the emotion that you had, it was pretty unbelievable. So just talk about even now how you're feeling after capturing the belt this evening.
Man, I can't believe it. This moment is so special. I'm always, trying to make jokes and play with everybody, but today was an emotional day for me. I start to cry because I feel it in the bottom of my heart. This moment I worked so hard for that fucking belt. It's pretty. It's pretty. I have 10 years like a professional, 15 years doing this sport. And this moment is so special. Not just for me, it's special for all the people around me, who support me in all this journey.
You said it was 6 months of preparation after the first fight, a 6-month camp. I guess, what was the biggest thing you learned out of that first meeting that you were able to adjust to or change or make a difference?
I learned too much about myself. I can talk with you about a lot of technical stuff, like the kicks, the boxing, the Muay Thai, all that stuff. But I learned too much. I'm real, and my mind is made with another material, different material, definitely. So I worked so hard, 6 months was so long. This training camp, this training camp take 2 or 3 years of my life, but I don't care. I have the belt. I have the the belt right now, and that is the most important thing. And man, I don't have enough words to explain how I feel today.
Earlier this week, you kept your cool, but I'm wondering what went through your head when he shoved you at the press conference. Did you think like I'm in his head a little bit, or what did you think?
I won there. I won there. You know, actually, I saw Figueiredo in the press conference. He looks different. You know, he keep his sunglasses. Don't want to watch me directly to the eyes. The same in the ceremonial weigh-ins, and I don't know. I was very confident. You know, for me, a lot of technique, really good game plan, but my mindset. I was very confident. My mindset was the key of the victory so far.
Yeah. What went through your head in the opening round? I think you probably thought you were getting out of there in the first. What went through your head, and how did you kind of readjust and refocus?
I saw him going to the ground, but I go for him. But I try to be very patient and very smart. You know, I try to keep position, and because my corners tell me how many times in the round. So I keep a lot of patience there. You know, keep the domination in the fight.
Nice. Ultimately, you finished it off with a beautiful choke. I mean, did you think that the jiu-jitsu was going to be the way to get it done tonight?
Man, the jiu-jitsu always was, you know, my key of the victory. When I start in the sport, I start to win fights. The jiu-jitsu was always the key, you know, real naked chokes, triangles, guillotines. But I'm starting to do more striking because I think I needed to improve in that area. But my jiu-jitsu always is there to help me to keep the winning line.
I know this win is for you, it's for your team, it's for your family and all that, but I mean, obviously the history of you being the first Mexican-born champion, what does it mean for you to represent Mexico as well as a UFC champ?
Man, that was one of my principal goals, you know. Obviously, I have too much respect for guys like Cain Velasquez, like Henry Cejudo. They put too much work in the sport for my country too. You know, Cain Velasquez bring the UFC to Mexico in 2014. You know, that was amazing. It put the mixed martial arts in Mexico in another level. But now, me, I born in Tijuana. You know, I born in Tijuana. I grew up there. I went to the school there. I suffered the bad opportunities. Fucking government there. You know, the huge companies don't put support in the sports. Especially in the mixed martial arts because it's a new sport for the country. So man, I know with this belt I put the sport in other level, and that made me feel amazing.
That's awesome. The last thing for me, I mean, surely you want to enjoy this, and now that you're the champ, you don't have to call anybody out; they have to come to you. But are there any fights that are important to you or make sense to you? Are there names that you want to see in a title defense?
Yes, definitely yes. You know, this training camp was so long. I mean, to be honest, it was 6 months. 6 months of preparations. I mean, game plan, drills, going to the gym, trying to make every single movement of the fight. My mind, you know, was so. I need vacations. I need to go to some beach. I don't know where, but I need to rest. I need to rest because after the first fight, I try to enjoy, you know, my family, the Christmas, but one part of my mind is still in the fight, you know, it's still with Figueiredo, it's still with the pressure of the next fight because I knew the rematch will come in, you know. So I don't know, man. I have some names, you know. Askarov is doing very well. Cody Garbrandt, he wanted to come to the division, but he lost his last fight against Rod Font, so I don't know. The trilogy against Figueiredo can be a possibility, but this fight wasn't even close, you know. So I don't know, man. I just want to go to my house, put my cell phone, and enjoy my family and a lot of bad food. Why not?
Brandon, I'm here.
Physically, how did Davidson Figueiredo feel in there compared to your first fight?
Man, we need to be honest. He cut too much weight. I think it's unnecessary. You know, this sport is so hard because you cut weight because you you want some advantage in the fight. You know, you want to feel stronger. You want to feel with more energy than your opponent. But man, we saw actually the embedded. You know, Figueiredo crying after make way, very dramatic in the last minute of the time. I think it's necessary, but obviously it's not my decision. It's decision of his team and him. Sorry.
What did you two say in the octagon after? Look, he came over and put his arm around you. He lifted your arm up. You guys talked after Davidson tonight. What did you guys talk about in there?
He's speaking Portuguese, to be honest. So I don't know. But man, he was very respectful, and I knew that the guy, he tried to put some special flavor in the fight, you know, trying to be the bad guy, but that doesn't work with me, you know. My mindset is different. So the guy is a father as me, you know. He has a family, he has a wife, a daughter. So the guys are nice people. Just sometimes he tried too much to be the bad guy, but sometimes it's not necessary. He's a respectful guy, and I really appreciate it.
And finally, looking at through Twitter, fighters like John Jones, Daniel Cormier, Jorge Masvidal, they're all praising you on Twitter. Nate Diaz was just in here, and when we asked about you, he started to clap and said it was an awesome fight, and he's really happy for you winning your title. So what does it mean that your fellow fighters, people that you watched growing up, are praising you?
It's a dream come true. I'm a very huge fan of all these guys, you know. Imagine that, you know. Actually, I had photo. Francis Ngannou come with me. Can I take a picture? And just engage you. Can I take a picture with man? I want a picture with them, you know. So man, it's a dream come true, and I really appreciate it. All these guys like my work, and I love it.
Brandon over here. Congrats, champ.
Thank you.
Would it be safe to say that you came in the first fight, you thought you could win, but you came in today, you knew you could win?
Sorry again?
Your mindset from the first time to the second time, like you thought you could win, but it seemed like this all week, instead you walked around with that swag, like you knew you were gonna win because you were bullying the bully.
Yeah. So good one. First of all, my mind is very strong, you know, because I had very bad moments in my life, you know. For example, I don't know, 2018, I hate that year of my life. It was horrible. I lost 2 fights in a row. UFC released me to the company. I start to, you know, I need money. I need everything. Problems, my surgery of my daughter. Was a hard moment. And all these moments built my mind until today. So, in the press conference, he pushed me. Figueiredo pushed me, but my mind was in the correct way, you know. My mind was always focusing what happened, you know. Like, I don't care. You can push me 100 times if you want, but that nothing changed. I'll be the next flyweight champion of the world, and I'm the best, you know. I have a lot of memories with Rose Namajunas. That was a special moment for me, you know, because she was an underdog against Joanna, and she was an underdog against Whaley. And I remember that moment when she started to say to himself, like, I'm the best. And that was like, wow. You need to believe that, you know. And my mind is building with another material, definitely.
Have any Mexican combat stores reached out to you, like Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. or Canelo or any of them? And do you inspire to get to that level? Because these guys get a lot of love when they show up to any boxing fight. People go crazy. You inspired to get to that level, but bring it to the MMA side.
Man, obviously in Mexico we have a huge culture, a huge history in the boxing, you know, in combat sports in general, but definitely in boxing. Right now it's Canelo Alvarez, but before was Julio Cesar Chavez. My favorite boxing fighter is Juan Manuel Marquez. I love, for example, the fight against Katsiris. I love that matchup. So this is mixed martial arts. You know, it's a new sport. I mean, for the world. Even for the world, it's a new sport. Imagine for my country, for Mexico. So I'm doing the correct things to put the mixed martial arts in other place, and I'm making history. Right now, the guy from Tijuana, the kid from Tijuana is the champion. So I love to start to think I'm part of the history of the sport tonight.
And something that has to do with fighting, but has to do with your life. You're very proud for being from Tijuana. Canelo's talked about he moved to San Diego because once he started winning, his family became a target. Is there anything now that your name's out there and people know who you are, do you think you might have to move across the border? Something that we don't have to deal in the States, but you have to deal there in Mexico.
Man, I mean, for example, I after the last fight, I bought a house in Las Vegas. Definitely was a professional decision because I'm part of the broadcast for the UFC in Spanish, and the production is in the Apex. The Performance Institute is in Las Vegas. They give me physical therapies. They give me free food. They give me everything. So was a professional decision to me to move all my life to Las Vegas. In the future, I want to go again to Mexico, to Tijuana, no? But right now, I need to live there for my family. Everything is not just for me. It's not for me. It's for my wife. It's for my daughters. So if I need to die for them, I can do that. I don't care nothing. The people know my love for my country. The people know the love for my city, for Tijuana. I still have my house, another house there. But right now I live in Vegas. I'm very comfortable there. In the future, we'll see. I want to go again to Tijuana, but right now it is what it is.
And final question for me: how cool is it have all week have all the support from the people here in Arizona, and then now that you got the belt, you got people all across the globe that know who Brandon Moreno is.
Man, it's crazy. Actually, last Tuesday, I had interviews from Australia, I think so, and India. What's crazy? Imagine Brandon Moreno with fans in India, with fans in Asia, a lot of Mexican people here in Phoenix, a lot of support, a lot of people support me. When I start to walk to the octagon, all the people was crazy in that moment when I got the real naked choke and won the fight. The people was crazy in that moment. I fought here in Phoenix before to come to the UFC. So the people know me here in Phoenix, and definitely Phoenix has a special place in my heart.
Brandon, to your left over here. Brandon. Hey, man. Who do you predict will be the next Mexican champion after you?
Oof, good question, bro. I mean, obviously, Pantera Rodriguez has an important fight against Max Holloway. I understand that people say Pantera is the underdog, but you never know. You never know because this sport is about the styles, and Pantera has a crazy style of fighting. Alexa Grasso moving to the flyweight division looks impressive. Looks definitely better than in 115. Irene Aldana had the opportunity against Holly Holm. Was on a hard fight for her, but she's still there. I don't know, man. I don't know. Mowgli Benitez, he's working so hard. Who more? Others. We have a lot of. I don't want to make any mistake because we start other Mexican fighters start to come to the company. So it's about work, man. It's about hard work, and that's it.
For sure. And I was there in Portland for your UFC debut.
Oof,
you got that
man,
upset
thank you.
over Louis Smolka, and biggest moment of that night. Just everybody went crazy for you getting that upset. Would you ever have imagined that you'd have something that would top that the way that this did?
Obviously, yes. I don't knew about the time. But all my life was for this. I mean, all my life in this sport was for this, and I did it today. I remember the fight against Luis Smolka was very inspiring. That I was very inspired in that moment because was in short notice. The season of the Ultimate Fighter was on TV in that point, so anybody expect too much about my performance that night. But again, I was very confident. I don't care that shit of the underdog. I don't care that. The people can talk and the people can start to predict what happened in the fights, but I have the last word.
Congrats, champ.
Thank you, bro.
Hey, Brandon, right up the middle. I think the most beautiful part of the whole night was on your way in when you stopped and kissed your daughter. How much does that mean to you have your family here? Do you fight different when they're in the arena?
I was on fire in that moment when I saw my daughter. My mind start to, actually, I say that before, but in my normal life, I'm trying to be like very respectful, very happy guy, a very humble. But when I go to the fights, I'm trying to change all that stuff to an angry guy, an angry guy, very unrespectful, trying to kill that somebody. And when I saw my daughter in that moment, that bad guy comes like a 100%, and put my mind in the correct place to try to kill my opponent. And that happened this night.
I know you're proud to represent your own country, but millions of Americans have fallen in love with you as well and are big fans of yours now. So how cool is that to get to have fans all over the world, but especially right here in America where UFC is so big?
So, I'm starting to improve too much my English, for example, so more people can know about me, about my life, about my history. So obviously, I have a lot of people support me from my country, from my country, from Mexicans, from Latin America in general. But I have people too around the world, and that makes me feel amazing. It's a dream come true for me.
Thank you,
Brandon, right here. Has it sunk in yet that you are a star now in UFC? Because during the press conference, you asked Dana that, and now because not only you're a star in Mexico, you're a star in Latin America as well too. This is beyond just Mexico.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, I don't see my social media. I don't see nothing what happened in Mexico. My coach showed me in a video with a lot of people in my 150 people in my gym in Tijuana celebrating like a crazy people. Everybody crazy there. Very happy by my performance. So we'll see, brother. We'll see what happened after this victory. But I know this victory is huge for everybody.
Last question. You were having a success with him standing up. What made you take it to the ground?
Man, I say that before, as I felt the power of Figueiredo in the last fight. I mean, the guy's real. The guy punch hard, but it's nothing out of this world. So I started to throw punches. I started to connect very well in the first round. Then the guy tried to take me to the ground. He did it actually, but then I put him on the on bottom. I'm start to work. I try to be very patient, because he's very explosive. He puts your hips and try to get up very quickly. So I try, to be very patient in every single position. And the third round, I start to work with my body. I can't remember very well now, but I think was the body lock, and then we went to the ground, and then he's back and start to work with the body lock and start to try to find the rear naked choke. I tried once, doesn't work. I was very patient and try again, and that's it.
Señor Brando Moreno, congratulations, felicidades.
Muchas gracias.
A few days ago, I asked you what would you think it was going to be the outcome, and I say knockout or submission. So you made a promise to your fans. You mentioned earlier, right?
Cierto. Muchas gracias.
Yeah, congratulations. And so the question is, what point after the first submission failed, because he got away, you believe that you were ready for the next one because you were waiting? And
Yes. So I remember that moment very clear in my mind. I knew I was won the first and second round. So for example, in other fights when I'm started in the UFC, for example, I was very frustrated if the first submission, if I don't get the first submission, But now I have too much experience. I'm very young. I have 27 years old, but I have too much time in this sport. I have too much experience. So I get the body lock, and I say, I mean, if I don't get the submission, I can control him here, spend some minutes here, punch with the in the back, and still win, keep winning the fight. And I did it. I tried first. I can do that in that moment. Try it again, and that's it.
Gracias, campeón.
Brandon,
Felicidades.
una
Brandon.
última pregunta. Perdón. Perdón, primeramente, felicidades, paisano. Pusiste el nombre de nuestro país en alto en UFC. Tenías a la gente bailando, riendo, gritando y hasta llorando, de toda la noche. Hubo un momento que estabas en el suelo, la gente se encendió y gritaba, México, México, Moreno, y el famoso dicho, sí se puede. ¿Cómo te sentías ahí en ese momento?
Increíble. Y ¿sabes algo? O sea, lo dije con Joe Rogan y lo quiero volver a decir todas las veces que se me sea permitido. O sea, yo vengo de un país en el cual muchas veces nos decepcionamos, ¿no? Porque se escucha mucho el sí se puede, y sí se puede. Y muchas veces nos quedamos cortos y no se logra, no se pudo. A veces nos dan carrilla, nos dicen, no, pues no se pudo. Y es como que, y todos bien frustrados y tristes. O sea, no sé qué vaya a pasar el próximo año, no sé qué vaya a pasar mañana, el próximo mes. Lo único que sé es que, o sea, le regalé la alegría a mi gente y les quería decir que hoy sí se pudo. Hoy sí se pudo y esto es increíble.
Brandon, Terrible Morales, Jaime Munguía, Rey Misterio, son algunos tijuanenses que han puesto tu ciudad en alto. ¿Qué te sientes por sumarte a esta lista de personajes que han entrado en que han roto, ¿no? ese nivel, sobre todo de Tijuana y bueno, para todo México?
Mira, la verdad es que, o sea, ya lo había dicho anteriormente, o sea, tenemos una cultura del deporte de contacto muy grande en México, especialmente en el boxeo. O sea, tenemos infinidad de campeones, ¿no? O sea, el Terrible Morales es uno de ellos. También, por ejemplo, o sea, Rey Misterio es un histórico en la lucha libre. Artes marciales mixtas. Hablando de artes marciales mixtas, todavía nos falta camino por recorrer. Yo lo opino así, pero como comentaba anteriormente también, o sea, Caín Velázquez puso el deporte en otro nivel cuando lo llevó a México en 2014. Ahora Brandon Moreno teniendo el cinturón y llevándolo a México y representando completamente los colores, yo, o sea, sé en el fondo de mi corazón que acabo de poner el deporte en otro nivel y es parte del camino y es parte de lo que quiero hacer, ¿no? Que cuando me retire, o sea, la gente sepa quién es Brandon Moreno y estar plasmado en las calles de Tijuana y en México en general.
Brandon, Mayor.
Hello, brother.
So you mentioned it earlier. So you came to UFC, you got released in 2018. You fought your way back. Now you're champion. For any fighter that has been recently released, what's your message to them?
Man, never give up. Sounds easy, you know. Sounds very, very easy. Never give up. You know, the images from social media. You know, the inspirational photos. Just you watch. At some point, it's easy. Never give up. Obviously, the sacrifice, the discipline, that hard moments when you feel like very, very bad and you still go, you keep going. I mean, if you go out of the UFC, it's not the end of the way. I promise, and I really believe in it. And I'm, you know, the graphical description of that. You can do it, you know, free commercial. You can do it and never give up.
Congrats.
Thank you. Love you guys. Thank you so much for everything. I need to eat something. I'm so hungry. I need that pizza.
Brandon, ¿puedes levantar el...
Me? Oh, thank you. You never know. Yeah, I know English, but sometimes I forget it. Yeah. It's more comfortable.
Israel, congratulations. Your second with the pizza.
Wait, can I ask John, how come you always, are you like the top dog? Okay, say less. We all know. Everyone knows they roll. Well, no, I was like, hey, everyone just steps back. John, let him do his thing. Good shit.
Appreciate it. Congratulations. I mean, listen, dominant performance, start to finish. I'm sure you would have liked to get the finish if you could, but obviously you win every round. So as you sit there now, how did you feel about your performance tonight?
I'm slowly starting to accept it as a great performance, but right now I wanted to punch him in the face more, but credit to him and his boxing coach. I'll say they improved their boxing a bit. So I think they thought that would be enough, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough.
Yeah. We talked about, you being a performer. Man, the crowd in there tonight, I know that's, not what gets done in the cage, but did that have any influence on your performance tonight? Because it seemed like vintage Israel Adesanya tonight.
I'm a troll sometimes, and you see me trolling him all week, so I just thought I'd keep it going. Sorry, I'm eating pizza. It's good, though.
Take your time.
Yeah. Yeah, vintage me, definitely. Just having fun. I did have fun in there, I'll say that.
Yeah. You got a chance to show your wrestling a little bit. You got a chance to show your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well. I'm curious, do you enjoy getting to show those kind of sides of you, or would you prefer to never even have to get to those moments?
I do want to show. There was a point, I think there was my favorite bit of the fight actually so far was when he thought he had a rear naked choke, and he probably got excited, like, yes, this is it, my moment. And then I wasn't even bothered. I wasn't threatened, and I turned it on him, and I put my hand on his neck. Like that X-rated shit when you choke someone, you just look him in the eyes. And I saw it I swear to God, I saw Soul leave his eyes. I saw it, and I said to him, "You're scared, aren't you? You're scared, aren't you?" I said that to him. Find the tape. And I felt very powerful in that moment, just taking the soul away. But he's tough. I'll give him that. He's tough. But yeah, that moment for me was very powerful because I took hope away from him.
I was gonna say, you guys haven't had the greatest relationship over the years, but did he earn your respect a little bit? He took a lot of damage tonight.
Taking damage doesn't equal earning respect, but I respect him. That's a good question, John. Do I respect? I don't know, because even at the end of the fight, I was like, "You can at least say I won that one." He's like, "What? This one?" I was like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "I won that." I'm like, "Oh no, we can't. I just Eric Cartman mentality, man. It's just, you got to believe your own bullshit sometimes." But hey, like I said, I'm believing my own hype. Wow. After that, and he thinks he won. Who's believing what hype?
I was gonna say, it looked like, usually we see guys come together and kind of bury the hatchet at the end of it. That's not what happened.
I told him, the first thing I said was like, "Hey, I don't like you and you don't like me, but this is martial arts at the end of the ring. At the end of the day, have some respect." So, yeah, he better respect me. I just want him to just, after my last fight, I wouldn't say who, but certain people thought I won that fight. Certain people, in my camp thought I won that fight, but I was just like, nah, it was close, but I'll take the L from that one, and I'll grow. I will learn. If I wanted to have his mentality, I would hold on to that, and I would keep going after John and trying to it's so stupid. That's not how you grow. How you grow is you learn from your mistakes. You go back to the drawing board and you improve. You become better from them. Losses are part of life. Losses make you better. Just I don't know where this whole mentality comes from. That you took a loss and that's it, you're over. But nah, it's part of life. Take it and let it improve you. So my advice to him would be just look yourself in the mirror tonight. Maybe not tonight. Give it a week. Let things settle down. Look yourself in the mirror and be like, look, Israel is better than you. Israel is better than you. Izzy's way better than you. You couldn't do shit to him. But I'm going to get better from this. And I swear to you, his next fight, he'll improve if he does the work right. But you have to you got to let it go. You got to let it go.
Yeah. Last thing for me is clear the next fight, right? Even Dana came in here tonight and said, yes, the rematch with Whitaker, that's the fight that needs to happen next. I guess the key is where can it happen and when can it happen? I mean, it's tough for us to know. I know you want to have it in Auckland, but who knows when that might could happen. So, I mean, is there a date circled on the calendar? Do you sit out and wait until it's okay to fight in Auckland? What's the plan?
I don't wait around. You know me. This is my third fight in 9 months. I don't fucking wait around like the rest of these guys or the rest of these champions who talk about being active. I don't talk about it. I just do it. I'm an active champion. So I'm putting it out there into the universe, into the ether that I want it in Auckland. But I mean, I don't like too much free time, especially right now while I'm in the prime. So yeah, could fucking open Fight Island number 3 for a third time, Fight Island third time maybe, but if not, maybe back in America somewhere. But it would be so awesome if it was in Auckland and I could do it on my home turf.
Israel, when we sat down on Wednesday, you'd mentioned that if you didn't knock him out, you wanted it to be 5-0.
Yeah.
Are you excited about this 5-0?
Yeah. I want to watch the fight again. That's one thing. I still haven't had my moment to myself after my fights. You guys know what that is, where I get to reflect on everything. I'm excited that it was a clean sweep. I'm excited I had fun in there. I'm excited I was able to be lucid and just and even just listen to my coach as well and excel. But yeah, I'll still give myself like a C plus.
C plus?
Yeah, C plus.
You were having success with the leg kicks, and then you went away from it. What was there a reason for that? Was that a strategy?
I was gonna go back to it. I did at the end a little bit. I got a little bit over eager in the end to the point that even my coaches had to like, I try to like showcase my grappling a little bit more. But if it ain't broke, don't try and fix it. If you don't need it, don't use it. So yeah, man.
So everyone was saying that the mystique. Israel lost his last fight. He's been figured out. So going into this fight, he's gonna take him down. How did that work out today?
Well, fuck what everyone thinks. You're not as good as they say you are. You're not as bad as they say you are. All that matters is how you see yourself. Everyone's telling me this week or saying this week on the internet, like, oh, he's gonna whoop Vittori. He's gonna do this. I don't listen to that stuff. Even the good stuff people say about me, that's it. Because it's all bullshit at the end of the day. I appreciate it, but it's all bullshit. All the fucking monkey and banana emojis and bad English on my page. That's gonna be coming on my page pretty soon as well. My next post, I'm sure, because that's the same thing that happened last time I whooped his ass in this arena. Yeah, man, you don't listen to it. I just focus on myself, my team, my loved ones, and yeah, we get shit done.
You've been racially abused before. It's not the first time something like that didn't happen when you were in Auckland. We talked about this growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And you handled it a little different this time. You posted it. Talk about how often that happens.
Oh, it's just water off a duck's back now. I'm just trying to show you a little glimpse into my life a little bit, but this is life, I'm sure you know as well as a black man. It's life. You deal with it, but it's it's shit.
You come from a country that is practically the largest black nation in the world, 200 million. We also come from a continent of 1.2 billion. I asked Kamal the same question. I'll pose this to you as well. You come from a place where hope is not necessarily on a daily basis, but when you fight, you give hope to these people. How important is it for you to get into that octagon and put on those type of performances, knowing that the people watching back there and excited to see you perform, and that gives them hope?
It's probably like 6 a.m. in Nigeria right now. They were up at 4 a.m. watching me fight. I want to get to that status that when I fight at 4 a.m., the whole country's awake, cheering me on. I want crime to drop. I want all these Yahoo boys to stop whatever they're doing, all the police, Mopo, all of them stop whatever they're doing just to watch me fight. And the country comes together for 30 minutes or under to see what kind of magic we create and just relish in that and then feel inspired after that. Because after Francis won, even though he's from Kamaru, I was on a high for about a month. I was just like, fuck yeah, this is dope. And then Kamaru did his thing and I was like, let's go. We're on top right now, 3 kings. And it's just a powerful thing, man. It's so powerful. So I just keep riding that wave, man. I just keep riding that wave. And I want them to feel this surge I just created. I want them to ride it too into the week. Like when they attack the week next week, anyone in Nigeria who just feels maybe down and out about some shit, attack the week the way I attack this guy. Have fun in there, Don't let all the bullshit SARS and whatnot trying. It's hard to say, and I don't like to romanticize or get political, but it's just Nigeria did bullshit sometimes. All these fucking politicians and corruptions and shit, But yeah, the young generation I feel will be the ones to save Nigeria because all these old cunts are gonna die out eventually.
Dad is here, and he had mentioned that your loss to Jan was a bad day at the office. Would you characterize it as the same thing as well?
Yep, 100%. It's the bad day in the office, but now we have a good day in the office.
So what would it change that you made in this fight, knowing going into that you took from that Jan fight that you made going into this fight, knowing that he was going to try to take you down?
I just changed a few things. I don't want to get too much into. I gotta go soon, but yeah, I've explained a lot on my YouTube already. Check out my YouTube, Freestyle Bender.
Izzy over here.
Right there. Oh no, let him. So 2 seconds. This guy right here. No, go.
Terrence McKinney was in here, and he said that he was hanging out in the lobby for hours on end.
Who?
Just Terrence McKinney.
Oh yeah.
He said he was waiting for you specifically for hours, and he almost gave up. And then you came down, and you kind of made his day when you took a photo. Brandon Moreno was just in here, and he said he's wanted a photo with you forever. And then you asked for his photo, kind of made his day outside
Really?
the title. So, what do you say when your fellow fighters are waiting in the lobby just to take a photo with you?
Yeah, I saw Terrence when I think I did my COVID test or I checked in on something, and yeah, he was excited to see me, but I was just excited that he has a really good, big smile as well, and he has good energy. So I was just like, okay, I'll take a photo with you. And then I was like, you're fighting on the card, right? Yeah. And I was like, yeah, definitely, I'll look out for you. And wow, what a fucking performance. And even recently, I started to hear about the story as well, his background, and I'm just like, what a triumph, what a rise from the ashes, a phoenix, and that's cool. And Brandon Moreno is just another nerd like me. And it's just love. If you show me love, I'll show you love back. I'm not an asshole, contrary to popular belief. I'm nice to people if you're nice to me, even the fans. I mean, people will tell you, oh, I met him one time, he was a dick. Well, what did you do? What did you do that made him fucking hate your guts? But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that these people, like I said, Brandon Moreno, I'm really happy for him. And also to Figueiredo as well. He handled his loss like a champ. He was classy in defeat. Respect to him. Fucking, he's a guy that rides a water buffalo. That's cool as fuck. Brandon Moreno collects Legos and what do you call it? Funk pop thingies. I've got a few as well, and it's just I like, and he's so smiley and happy and good energy. We need more of that in the world. So fuck yeah, he needs a platform that he can beam that out there. So I'm glad he's on the platform now. He can beam that out there to the world.
Was that a Hanya mask that you wore when you walked in?
Yes.
Any specific reason for that one?
It's the mood. Yeah, I don't know. It's the heat of the desert or something. I don't know. I was just feeling very Ronin.
And when Brad was back here, we asked him about your late teammate, and it said it kind of weighed on his mind, but he had to focus, and he's really going to use quarantine as the time to reflect on it, and maybe the emotions will come out then, now that the fight is over. Are you in that same category?
Yeah, because we all rallied around each other as a team and helped each other through this tough time. So sometimes I had to put my feelings. I'd let them, like last night I did a video diary and I kind of went through them a little bit and I shut it back up. But then in quarantine, I guess we could just pour it all out. Just bask in it because it's crazy. I just wish the government in New Zealand would just wisen up for fucking once we're backwards in a lot of things. The referendum, I think last year on cannabis, got denied, and it's like the whole world is now starting to realize the propaganda about that, and then they're making changes, taxing it, making money, but you still got those old heads. Oh no, it's a gateway drug. Those guys, they're still around, but they'll die off. These cunts will die off eventually, and the young people will take over. The young people will be the ones to change the world, not these old heads who never even grew up with the internet. Same thing with this law that they have in place with the because Australia was ahead. They created like a really harsh penalty for people who blind shot people, and you'd expect New Zealand to do the same thing. But when the bill got proposed, I can't remember how many people passed on it, but it passed. How do you for what reason would you want to pass a bill like that? If someone walks up to someone who's doing nothing, be it an old man or old lady, whatever, and blind shots them from the back, give them 20 years standard, because that's like assault with a deadly weapon. But no, someone's like, that's a stupid. Who does that? I don't know. I don't want to get angry. I don't want to get political, but I expect better from the government of New Zealand. I'm not a politician. Don't fucking listen to me. I don't know shit about what. I don't know. But yeah, I just know right from wrong. And that was fucking wrong they did to my boy. It was wrong. And they know that too. Jacinda, I don't know who else is in your fucking cabinet. You know it was wrong. You know exactly what to do. I don't know what puppet master is pulling the strings, but you're the leader of the country. You handled the Musk shootings like a fucking champ. Can you please do the same with this shit too?
Is it
two more questions, guys? I gotta go.
Okay,
Oh, man. Wait, you last two. All right, bet.
Gotcha.
So, when the lights shine the brightest, some of the hardest things to do ever is to be yourself and speak freely and act freely. And I don't really even have a question, man. I just want to tell you, of all these years I've watched mixed martial arts, I want to thank you, because when I watch, I can feel that freedom.
Giving me chills.
I can feel it, and it feels good. And I wish everybody could follow in that same footstep of what you do. So thank you.
I appreciate that, but I mean, this is something I'll say is the word cringe that gets overused lately. I see it so much. I walked out with the straw hat and the mask. Oh my God, he's so cringe. Can't he just do a normal walkout? Why the fuck would I do that? That's not me. That's not me authentically expressing myself. And I had to break it down, because I was like, why are people saying cringe? Like, I was like, what is cringe? What makes me as Izzy cringe? Cringe is when I see someone do something that I would never attempt, be it good or bad. But when I see someone do something that I would never attempt and it makes me cringe, like, I don't know, base jumping, I'm like, ugh. Like, it's cool, but I'll never do that. Or something embarrassing, I'm like, oh, why would you be doing that? Like, it's cringe, but they're enjoying it. It just shows that I would never attempt that, because I don't have the courage to do that. And not really much makes me cringe these days. So when people say that to me, I'm like, oh, you just don't have the nuts to do what I do. Like you said, under the brightest lights, like I said at the weigh-ins, I put this shit on myself. I put everything on the line. So when it's time to shine, it's all mine. So, but I just want to say thank you for that. Like, that actually gave me chills, and I appreciate you giving me that. Nah, thank you, man. Last one.
Question for you, champ. When he tried to rush you on the stage on Thursday, did you know you had him? Because like there, I'm like, if I'm a betting person, which I am, but I didn't do it this time, I'm like, fight's over with. You already got him. Did you have that mentality? Because you didn't buck at all. You kind of like.
I mean, I've been working with this guy. Shout out to my guy Ryan from Good Dog NZ. He's been helping me because I've been busy. So he's been helping me with Toothless, one of my dogs who isn't as social, because I didn't have the time to take her out and stuff. So it kind of reinvigorated my love for dog psychology and watching the way dogs interact and the way they use their body posture to communicate and mark their scents and use their anal glands to leave scents in each other's faces. It's weird. Dogs do it. Look it up. Google. But yeah, working with him has helped me remind myself of how I used to do that all the time. I read people like coloring books, so easy. And when I was sitting there, and I knew he was trying to pretend like he was cool. like he's calm and collected. I'm like, I know you're boiling inside right now. So I started to attack him, and I could feel the energy. He's like, I'm your fucking nightmare. I was like, do something, bitch. Do something. That was the energy I was giving him. And then when he finally broke, I was like, yes. And I didn't move a muscle because he's not a threat. He doesn't pose a threat to me. Even tonight when he had my back, like I said, he wasn't a threat to me. When he tried to take me down, it wasn't a threat to me. I wish I timed that knee better. But yeah, that'll be in another fight.
Do you feel sorry.
Carry on.
Do you feel any pressure with being one of the three African kings not to be the one to end this beautiful
Fuck no.
streak?
Nah, man. Nah. Like, this pressure makes diamonds. Like I said, shining, baby. I need more, by the way. But yeah, that's another story for another time. Hey, thanks, you guys. Thanks for staying up. Appreciate you. Easy ass.
One last one.
What?
Last week I was at the Paul Mayweather fight. I cover both sports.
No.
It's about you. It's about you. It's about you. They I had somebody come up to me and said that you inspired them. A kid from a lot of people from in the boxing community, like, who's that African brother from New Zealand that be knocking people out? And they want to know, like, is that swag for real? So they were looking out for you. You got people in the boxing community that support you.
I mean, I've met, the Paul brothers. I've met some of the people. Fans. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I love what was happening. I was thoroughly entertained, and yeah, I take inspiration from everywhere. Inspiration isn't limited to one certain sport. I take inspiration from fucking Dolphin on Instagram. It's fucking cool. Yeah.